Hello everybody, welcome to our sewing club. I hope over the next few weeks you will enjoy what we've got prepared for you and maybe improve your sewing skills a little bit. So the first activity I thought that we'd have a go at is to make a bookmark, something like this, and we're going to use a stitch called cross stitch. Very basic, but hopefully lots of fun. Here we go. The first thing you need to do is get yourself some binker material and cut yourself a piece just like this. That's about a bookmark size, isn't it? Then I'm going to put my glasses on for this bit. The next thing we're going to do is to find two contrasting threads. These are embroidery silks, but you can use any cottons, or maybe even just some thin wool as well. Whatever colours you like. And I'm going to use this purple colour. Now, a really good way of threading a needle is to fold it back on itself and then push the loop through the hole. I often find, and then pull it through. I often find that's a much easier way of threading a needle. Okay. When you get to the other end, you can, if you want to, put a little knot in the end, because that will just stop you losing it. So just pull it tight like that. You don't want the thread to keep coming through. Right, so we're going to hold the material in front of us like so, and what we're going to do is we're going to do cross stitch right along the top here. So I'm going to, this is why binkers are really good material for this kind of work, because you have the holes already there. So I'm going to come up through the bottom, holding onto the thread, because if I let go, I'm going to pull that thread through. So I'm holding onto that, pulling through gently, trying to make sure that we don't get a knot, and hopefully the knot in the end will stop it coming through. You might just want to keep your finger on that so you don't pull it through. And then in a diagonal stitch, we're going to go down like so. Pull it through, hold on to the thread and back up. Okay, keep it nice and taut, nice and tight. Then we're going to make our next stitch. So we're going to go to this one here, back up through the bottom, pull it nice and tight, and diagonally down with one in the middle, look, just as I'm doing so. Pull it through, and you can see we've got a bit of a pattern forming. You might want to count the holes. So we've got 1, 2, and then we go in the next one, up through the bottom, hanging on to it, pulling it through, down on a diagonal. So up through the bottom, down through the top. And you've got to make sure you've got even holes that you're leaving, otherwise it will just look a bit odd. 1, 2, and the last one along this top section, like so. Down through there. At any time you get a bit confused, you can stop the video and rewind so you know exactly what you're doing. Now when you've done that bit, so we've got 4 stitches going in that direction. Watch carefully. I'm going to go up to here, up through there, and I'm going to cross back over and down through the material again, forming a cross. That's why it's called cross stitch. And then very quickly up through the top. Oops, sometimes you do get a little bit of a knot forming. Just have to be very patient. There we go. Usually they come out quite quickly. Here we go. Really attractive stitch, this one. And quite simple too. Now, obviously, when you've done the top one, what you can do, either in another colour or in the same colour, you're going to do the bottom as in my example, and then go up and down the side. Okay, so have a little go at that, and I'll show you one I've made earlier. Okay, so we have our finished bookmark now, and we've gone all the way down the side, along the bottom, up the other side, and across the top in 2 different shades. What really looks attractive is if you get yourself a piece of ribbon and you cut a length off about this size, fold it in half, then what we're going to do on the underside, we're going to stitch that on. So we've got a nice attractive loop at the bottom of your bookmark. So you don't lose your page, basically. That's why we use them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go down, making sure we don't lose that end, and back up in a nice straight line to secure it. And down, back up, down, it's back up, down, back up. A few more times. Nice small stitches. That should probably do. And then on the other side you can hardly see those stitches. I'm just going to cut those threads off. We just put one final stitch in there and finish at the back. My scissors and cut that off. Be really careful with your needles that you don't put them down, because that would always hurt if it went through your finger, or worse, your toe. I'm just going to cut these ends off so that they don't look ugly. There you go. We've got our finished, rather attractive cross-stitch bookmark.